The spiritual principle from this last Sunday was lament delivers from false hope to true hope in God. So the whole message we were talking about false hopes and what's meant by false hopes. What I'm talking about there is when I'm looking to people or things to give me what only God could truly give. I make someone or something my functional God. The idea is I'm putting my ultimate hope in them. Now, it's not that these are bad things. We're not talking about things that are even inherently sinful, but what we do is we take a good thing and we make it into a God thing. We're searching for fulfillment in someone or something, and the fulfillment that we're looking for can only be provided by God. So when I'm placing my ultimate hope in someone or something, that's what I'm talking about is a false hope, because it's too small, it's not big enough to satisfy the longings of the human heart. Now you might be hearing this and say, well, that doesn't describe me. I don't struggle with false hopes. That's not a struggle for me. Maybe every now and then. And I would just say, no, we all struggle with false hopes, not every now and then. This is a daily, really a moment by moment struggle. Really, it's what it means to be a sinner. To be a sinner is someone who struggles to hope in God. And listen, we're designed by God to hope. So if I don't hope in God, I'm going to hope in someone or something else. Think about that. Every moment I'm not hoping in God, I'm hoping in someone or something else. We're designed to hope. So the question isn't if this describes me, because it does. It describes all of us. The question is, how do I discern when I'm clinging to a false hope? And there's a couple ways to think about this. First would be, if there's something in your life that you are terrified of losing. Let's say if you think, if I lost this, I would lose all hope. You know, there's a love song that says, I can't live if living is without you. It's talking about a dating relationship. And if this relationship ends, then there's no point for me to live. Like that's a functional God. Whatever it is there something in your life that you're like, if I lost this, I'd lose all hope. I would just be in absolute despair and I'd never come out of it. And that's a functional God. That's a false hope. Now the other one is, and this is very common too, the if only I had mentality. If only I had this relationship, if only I had this thing, if only I could accomplish this, if only I was good enough to do this, if only I had this skill, then I'd be happy. Again, this is a false hope. You see, we keep latching on to the if I just had this, if I just had this, then I'd be happy. And you know, this is one of the reasons why highly successful people who have all the money in the world, can hit rock bottom, because their if only, they actually got it. And when they got that functional God, that false hope, they saw for the first time it was no hope at all. And it's devastating. And so God wants to free us from that. Now here's another way to discern, not only I couldn't lose this or if I only had this, another thing is follow your fears and follow your anger. Ask yourself, why am I so afraid about this? Or why am I getting so angry about this? Your fears and your anger will often lead you to your false hopes. Now, the message we talked about on Sunday, because we're in the book of Lamentations, was about suffering. And suffering uniquely reveals my false hopes, because suffering shows me that these false hopes can't prop me up any longer. I need God. And so this is why we need to learn to lament as we suffer. Lament will turn us from our false hopes to the true hope that we have in Jesus Christ. Lament will help us to bring the pain, bring the struggle, but God will be revealing to us what we've been clinging to that we should not have, so that we can reorient our hope. We can reorient our longings, our heart toward God and God alone, because only He is big enough. Now remember this, Jesus came and died to awaken you to the infinite worth of God. The reason why He died on the cross and rose again was so that you and I could see that every other hope is a false hope. And only God is worthy of ultimate hope. So let's allow the gospel of Jesus Christ to freshly remind us that God is big enough for our hopes. And let's discern all the false hopes as we're tempted throughout the day. Just say, okay, nope, I see that. That's a false hope. I'm reorienting my heart toward God. And watch how God strengthens and sustains you and fills you with true, lasting hope.